I'm a do-it-yourselfer. Have been my whole life. If I want to do something, I just try it. Coffee was one of these things. I got into brewing my own beer, was making my own wine, got into a little bit of distilling too. I'm just into food and drink, like all things that have anything to do with flavor kind of stuff. And coffee, I've always been a fan of coffee. I've always enjoyed it. So we had a little popcorn popper, got our hands on some specialty grade coffee. And I'm not saying we really knew what we were doing those first few roasts, but we had great green and it was freshly roasted. Those two things are the biggest game changer, I think, with coffee. And like the first time I had that first cup afterwards, I was like, man, this is delicious. And then, I started reading more and I started trying different coffees, different varietals from different origins. I just immersed myself into it, right? And it was just a hobby. Like I didn't even think about a business at the time. It was just a hobby I got into and I just really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed finding different flavors and trying different coffees from all over the world. And at the time, I was a music teacher in the public schools. And I would bring in coffee to my school and I had a brew pot. And the next thing you know, like somebody would taste the coffee and they would, oh man, this coffee's delicious. Where did this come from? I was like, oh, I roasted this coffee. You what? Like foreign concept. Nobody really knew or was talking about coffee roasting. They're like, oh, you mean you ground it and brought it in? It's like, no. I had raw green coffee. I roasted it and this is what you're drinking now. Within, short order after that, like Christmas came around, and like half the school wanted to buy coffee for their families. And I was like, you know what, I think I got something here. And I started a very small operation. It was just a side gig. I was still a full-time music teacher. Bought a little 5-kilo roaster, which I still use today, and started roasting commercially. I want them to have an experience. I don't want them just to have a cup of coffee. I want them to learn a little bit. I want them to be educated on like where the coffee came from. Because I think a lot of times people don't realize like really good coffee, it comes from somebody that handpicked that cherry. So coffee grows as a cherry, the seeds inside of the cherry are roast for coffee, right? But what people don't know is like coffee cherries don't ripen at the same time. So every day you gotta go out and you gotta pick the red ones, right? Or the ones of the proper redness or ripeness. And it takes a while. And one coffee shrub produces enough cherries to make 1 pound of coffee. Like it's like what I'm getting at is like there's a lot of work behind the scenes to get us the coffees that we drink, right? And I think it's important to know some of that stuff, right? But furthermore, when they finally get to taste our coffee, the one thing I really love to hear all the time is like, man, what is it about this coffee? Like I don't need any cream or sugar. And the reality is it has more flavor. Because I really want, with every coffee, what I'm trying to do is just show off what the farmers are doing, the good work that they're doing, not get in the way, and really let the origin and the bean and the farmer speak. It's such an affordable delight, a good cup of coffee. Like, I don't know, I'm just trying to share that with as many people as I can. Chad Morris, owner and founder of Picacho Coffee Roasters here in Las Cruces, New Mexico.